afternoon, everyone. I'll start with this short presentation around today's webinar. My name is Sara Santana Herrera. I am an application specialist working in the structures team at Graitec UK. And today we will talk about the structure designer tool, which can be used in advanced design and also advanced steel. So at the end of the webinar, there will be a questions and answers session. You can ask me anything about this webinar, or if we don't have time to cover all the questions, you can send me an email to sarah.santana-herrera@graitec.com or contact me via LinkedIn. Okay. Great. So let's start with an overview of today's webinar. So we will start by creating a structure from scratch in advanced design using the structure designer. So I will show you the different types of structures we have in this tool. Then we will analyze and design this steel framework. Then we will show the workflow with advanced steel, and also how to use the structure designer tool from advanced steel directly. So structure designer is part of the BIM designers tools. These are tools made for multiple scenarios, so you can use it with different softwares like Revit, advanced design and advanced steel, and also you can use the BIM designers as standalone products. We have a concrete series of BIM designers which covers the design of beams, columns, foundations, walls, and slabs. And in the steel series, we have the steel connections according to Eurocode 3, and also stairs and railings for advanced steel, and the structural designer, which I will be covering today, that can be used with advanced steel and advanced design. Right. So let's start with the webinar. Okay. Okay, so we have in here the starting page from advanced design, and I will start by creating a new project. Okay, so some of you are probably familiar with the sketching tools inside advanced design, like how to create linear elements and planar elements and supports and so on. So today I will start with an empty model. So nothing in there at all. We call it multiple base framework. Step 1. Okay. And as usual, I'll just set 3D and some of the other default properties. Okay, so we have the interface of advanced design now. And if I go to the objects menu, okay, I can select the default structure, or I can select actually among different options in here. So I'll go and select multiple base. I'll show you a couple of these different configurations we have available. And you will see the software is now opening another interface, which is the BIM Designers Structure Designer. And in here, you will see there is structure automatically created. And now I want to customize this structure according to the type of cross sections that I want to use, spacings, and so on. Okay, so I'll go and click on this Launch Configuration button. And I will start by defining my default profiles. Okay, so I will select in here for transversal beams. You can see we have a library in here, different cross sections. Okay, so I want to use an I section. And I want to use from the UK universal beam. Okay, and then I can select from the library in here. So it will be a 254 102 22 in here. Okay. Okay, you can also change the alignment if you wanted to align to the top, the middle, the bottom. I'll just use middle. And then I will select from the drop-down menu another one of these members, so columns. Again, I want it to be I section, and then I will go and select from here UK universal column, and then I will select UC 305 30597. This one. Okay, and again, you have the option of selecting the alignment. So I have to do this for each type of member. So afterwards, I have the correct library, let's say suggested by the software for all the different parts of the building. Okay, so I'll go and select also eaves purlins. So I want them to be from the air shear metal birds in here. And here we'll select the zeta 2. So as you can see, we have a large library here available for each type of profile. Okay, so you have different fabricators and different libraries from each fabricator. And then I will select in here 2, 22, 52, 5. This one. And this time, because it's a purlin, so you have the option of aligning outside top, inside top, center, inside bottom, or outside bottom. So you will see later, I will change a little bit this when we start creating different parts of the building. Now, let me select gable post. So I want the gable post to be universal columns as well. So UK, universal column. And then 203, 203, 46. And then I will select as well my purlins in here. So I want them to be again air shear, and then zeta 1, this one, and then 12, this one. Okay, so now I'll just change rafters and bracings, and then we'll start creating the building. So rafters again, sections, it will be the same UK beam. Two five four 102 22, and then with bracings, this time I will select okay, so we are an angle, right? And then from here, RSA, and then 30, 35, okay? And that will be the same cross section for the side bracings. So in here. All right, so I have selected all the, let's say, relevant members. Oh, I need also the side rails. I was about to forget one. So side rails, I will select C section. Message to this one. C-section, and then this one. Okay, so I have already defined all the default profiles. Now I can go to the building definition in here. Okay, and you can see I can set the number of levels. At the moment, I only have one level. So you can see in here, in this overview. Okay, and then you can also set the number of bays. So I have 3 bays. You can see in here 1, 2, 3 bays. And also rows 4. So I will add a row in here. So 5. And you'll see that it will be updated in the graphic area. Okay, so at the moment it has been updated only for the first bay, which means I can go from this drop-down menu, bay 2, and then 5, and do the same thing for bay 3. Or if I want to, I can also go in here, let's say bay 3, and then copy from bay 1. Okay, that's another option. Okay, so identical spans between rows, and the bays are not identical because I have a slope in here, and then this one has 2 slopes, so I'll just leave it the way it is. Now, bay definition. Okay, so in here, of course, we have distance between rows. I have kept 5 for all rows, but you can also set a different distance for one of the rows. Okay, and also you can create transversal beams between these rows in here. Okay, I will create some eave purlins on this side. Okay, so at the moment I'm not using these transversal beams. Now, portal frame. Okay, so this is where you define the portal frame members. So first step, geometry, and then we'll start looking at the different numbers. So number 1 in here, you can see is the portal width. Okay, then we have portal height, which is 2 meters. We have also the roof type, which is only 1 beam. You can also set curved beam or 2 beams and so on. And then we have options for left side and right side if you have different configurations for these sides. Okay, column height. So you can see number 5 in here. So that's the column height. And then I have the roof slope, so 5.7 degrees at the moment. And then I can also set a portal alignment. Okay, so you can see in here, alignment could be like this, like this, like this. Then with regards to the frames, so I will select now the frames. So for the frame 1, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different frames, and they can be different or they can be the same if you want to. So I have in here columns left side, and at the moment I'm using the default column cross section that I did define, remember, in here, the default profile. Okay, and also I can switch to column right side. At the moment I have exactly the same cross section, but they can also be different. Okay, and rafter profile as well is exactly the same I did input in the default profiles in here, which doesn't mean you cannot change it. Of course you can change it, okay, but I'm happy using this default ones. And again, you can change the cross sections for each frame. At the moment, I'm just using the same for all of them. Now, transversal beams, as I said, we don't have at the moment. Okay, so we have the purlins, and then I will put some eaves purlins in here. But you can also select the type of transversal beams you want to put in the portal frame. Okay, great. So now gable post, and in here you can see, so bay number 1, portal 1, and then I have center post. I have also, you can see these ones are disabled. Okay, all of them are disabled because I'm defining gable post based on a total length. So I want to post starting at a distance of 3. So you can see in here, from here to there, starting here, which is 3 meters. So that will be this post in here. I want to, so there's 1, there's 2 in the whole portal frame width. Okay, and we can also set an offset. You can see number 5 in here will be the offset with regards to the portal frame in here. Okay, so again, the default cross section I did define, and if you go and select portal 2, okay, so it will be portal 4. Okay, so portal 4 is the one on the other side and is exactly the same distribution. Okay, and this is only for bay number 1. If I select bay number 2, you will see again I have this portal 1 and number of posts I have 2. I can take a look in here, 1, 2, okay, in the total width of the portal frame. So let's say I'm happy with this distribution as well. Now let's go and see the purlins. Okay, so purlins, again, I'll start with bay number 1. Okay, and I can see in here define, I have 9, okay, with a starting distance of 0, 3. You can see starting distance is number 2 in here in the diagram. Then I have last to eve, which is number 4, so that's the distance between the last one and the eve purlin. And I have rest distance in here as well. Okay, so rest distance in here. There. Then I can also go to the advanced options and select the projection. Okay, so this time I will put 0. You can see number 8, number 9, sorry, so number 8 in this on this side, number 9 on the other side. Okay, so I just 0, no projection at all, and you probably cannot see it because it's quite small distance. You probably did notice. I will just activate again this one, 0.2, and you will see how this is projected on top of the portal frame in here. Okay, so I just use 0 this time. For analysis purposes is better, and then for detailing you can keep it. Okay, and you can see we have my default procession for these purlins. Okay, now for bay number 2 as well. Okay, I will select 0, 0 for my projection. Okay, bay number 3 has been already copied from bay number 1. You can see in here, so I don't need to do it again. Right, so let me just double check in here. That's okay. Bay number 3, that's okay. Okay, so that's the one we just changed. And bay number 1. Okay, now the eaves purlins. So for bay number 1, I want to create my eaves purlins. I just click in here, and you will see how the eaves purlins appear. Okay, and of course we can change also their position. I will just leave outside top and use the eaves purlins cross section that I did define previously. Right. So bay number 2 as well. And for bay number 3. Okay, so we're almost done with this configuration. Then I go side rails in here. Okay, and actually I'll just deactivate the side rails. So to do so, just select the bay and then go in here, let's say left side, okay, and then here just go select the portal and then just disable. And you will see the side rails have been are disappearing here. Okay, and then I go and select the other portal frame and then just disable again. Or I can go and say portal and copy from portal 1, 2, and it will be disabled automatically. And same for portal 5, sorry. And then right side we don't have anything. Now we have to deal with the front. Okay, so I'll just disable them as well. So disable already for columns, and in here disable as well. Okay, you can see they have been disappearing side rails. So it could seem like a long process at the moment, but at the end we will have a whole structure created for us, which goes quite fast in comparison to drawing all the elements one by one. Okay, so again, I'll go here, copy from bay one, everything will be deactivated. Okay, I can take a look, just check if bay one, bay three, I don't have side rails anymore. I need to deactivate on the back still. Okay, so bay one, I think I forgot the back. Yeah, just disable in here, and you will see they also disappeared for bay 3. Now I just need to deactivate them for bay number 2 in the front. Okay. And now it's done. Okay, you can see there are no more sub-rails. Okay, side bracings, I will keep these ones exactly the way they are. So you can see we have the choice between X bracing, diagonal bracing. You can see this will change in here, okay, and also in the model. V bracings, Y bracings, and so on. Okay, I will keep using the X bracing, and you can see the default cross section is in here. We also have this option, connect axis to node, so that's very important if we want to have a proper model to perform FE calculation. Geometry, we can also set an offset, for example, from bottom to top, from top to the second position in here. Gaps, if you want to rotate the brace, and so on. Okay, so at the moment, I'll just use these values. And then take a look at the roof bracings. It's also X bracing types, and geometry have two each at each between each portal frame in here. Okay, for each row. So that's fine for me. I don't have any platforms, but if I wanted, I just have to create, let's say, front of bay 1, and a platform will be created in here, and then I can create the columns. For these platforms, you can see the profiles can be defined in here. Okay, so I'm not doing it now. I just disable all of this. And we also have the option of selecting and defining intermediate ribs. Now, I want to save this configuration for later. If I want to create another model later, let's say with a variation of this structure, I can just load it. So I'm going to the library now, and then I will type in your name. Okay, so go click save in here, and then I'll give it a name. So multiple base, let's say webinar, multiple base webinar, then okay. And you will see the software is now saving this default structure. Okay, so in a couple of seconds, I should have it in the list available. Okay, a few more seconds. It should come anytime now. Right, so it's here now, multiple base webinar. Okay, I will set this one as default. So you will see later on when I open the structure designer, this is the structure that will appear first. Okay, so now it's saved in the library. This is very important because then when we open advanced steel, we will see in the same library, the same default structure will appear. Okay, so now I'll just click apply and okay. Okay, I'll just save my model. Multiple base webinar, and I will save it in the desktop. Okay, just in here. And you have in here something really important. We have to just let's say get out of the macro, the structures in a macro by just saying yes, I'm done with the configuration. You can now create this model in the advanced design interface. So it's just loading the model in the software. So there we go. We are now in the interface of advanced design. And I will start just creating a couple of things so we can launch the analysis of this model. First thing, if we want to perform any modifications, we can select one of the members and then click again on default structure. That's if we want to go back to the macro. But if I want to change anything inside advanced design, let's say I want to change, for example, the steel grade, I want to change some of the properties of these elements, I select my system, which is default structure number 1. You can see it is organized by member type. Okay, and what I will do, I will just ungroup these members. Okay, so select in here, and then we will be able to change a few things for each element. Okay, right. So first thing I will do is I will create a system to group the supports. So because I will create some supports in here, of course, and another one to group the load areas to generate windows. Okay, and then I go select columns from here, and then right click, create supports. So it will be pin supports from the properties table. Okay, that's perfect. And now all these supports, I'll move them to the correct. Okay, to the correct system. Right, that's nice. Now I'll select gable columns as well. So it is important to have all these members well organized. It makes work much easier, as you can see. Okay, so continue here, and then supports again, and then paste. There we go. And now I will just specify some parameters for the bracings. I will just select the bracings. And in here I will, because these are bar members, as you can see, I'll just deactivate the supporting elements option. Same thing for the roof bracings. Okay. Right, that's perfect. And then I'll go and create some load areas. Okay, so for this, just select from the home menu load area, and then I'll start drawing them. In here, I want it to be like for each base, so that's why I just did draw it for this one. And of course, we can set the spanning direction from the properties table. Okay, and then I will also draw for the second bay and for the third bay. So for this, it's important to have the snap points active. Right, so just select span direction like this. And now we'll copy these load areas to the other side of the building, to the back. Okay, and then I'll start drawing on the right side and left side some load areas as well. So as I said, these are load areas. I'm creating them number 1 to generate wind loads with the automatic generator of advanced design. but also they will be useful to distribute the live loads on the roof. Okay, so I have now still 4 load areas to create, and then we will start creating the loads. So as you can see, it's exactly the same process once you have already your structure created. Okay, so creating the supports, creating the load areas, also changing some of the properties from the properties table to be the more accurate possible with the requirements of your project, or also this one is not properly drawn. I'll draw it again. Also for to comply with the codes. Okay, so it will be top of the column. Top column is just here. Yeah. There we go. And the last one. Okay, and again, I will select all these load areas and then change the span direction from the properties table. Okay, there we go. And you can see I have my load areas created now. Okay, next step, create some loads. Okay, so I'll create a self-weight case, live load case, and a window case. Create, and then in here I will select just this 4 load areas to generate my live loads. So just in here change to case number 2 -1. Okay, and then win loads, right click. I will use just the default parameters for the win loads, but as you know, in the properties table we have many options in here for the wins, the win generation. Now we go combinations. Okay, and then go simplify combinations, activate win loads as predominant action, generate, say yes, and then click OK. Right, so now I'll just launch the analysis. Hopefully everything will run fine. Okay, so I have a few linear elements. Okay, I think I did create them twice. I just select them on the command line. Yes, I did it. Can go in here. It's supposed to be a Berlin case. I think I did delete them all. On 13. Okay. Okay, that should be fine. So as you can see, I have apparently some issues with load areas, probably in this part. It's not properly drawn. But anyway, I will jump to the same model, but I did run the calculation before the webinar, so you will see in here it's exactly the same thing. Okay, this one I have performed the analysis, and I have probably drawn the load areas as well. So I'll just display them so you can see. Display the areas. Okay, so there I have the load areas, and I have my results available. Okay, so for the same amount of combinations, you can see in here I have 65 combinations, which is the same amount of combinations I had in the previous model. And then I can go, as you know already, and select among the different results in here. So displacement, let's say for bedlock case, and then select for the linear elements. Okay, displacement in here. You can see with the diagrams. Of course, I can also increase or reduce the size of these diagrams if I want to. And then I have also my courses results. So I can go, let's say I would select one of the ULS combinations, so combination 1 or 2, and then go in here, MY, and you can see the moments displayed. Okay, I can also display, let's say, axial forces and the shear forces as well. And I can go and select, instead of one of the linear elements options, I will select vertical reactions on supports. Okay, so for combination 1 or 2, these are my vertical reactions. Okay, and also we can select to display the stresses for the same combination. For example, I can select stresses for steel. Okay, and I can actually just select one of the members, one of the member types. So let's say, for example, only for the rafters, select those processes in here, and it will be displayed only for these members. Okay. Okay, so because we are running a bit out of time, from the advanced design point of view, that's all I will show today. Now let's jump to just to say the design process is pretty much the same as with another with a typical structure. Okay, so you have all the members in here, and it's still member, and then you can just go launch the steel design and check that the results are complying with the limits from the Eurocode, so deflections and buckling and so on. So now I'll go directly to advanced steel. Okay, and I will open a new template file. Okay, so a new project, an empty project. You can see I don't have anything at the moment. And then you can see under the power pack, Graitec power pack, we have multiple bays, a drop down menu, and also one bay. So I go and select from the multiple bays this one, and you will see the structure designer tool with exactly the same interface as in advanced design will appear. And I will have the option of selecting my already created multiple base structure. So by going to the library, you can see I have multiple base webinar that I just created a minute ago. Okay, so I'll select the one and then just go load. And I'll just close this window, and you will see it's exactly the same. Exactly the same structure. And let me see, I have these members in here. Probably I need to open again. Let me just open again. Create a new drawing from here. Okay, and then go in here, multiple base. It's taking some time to load. Okay, go again to library, multiple base webinar. Load again. And just close. Okay. Well, it seems that I didn't delete the side rails in the template from advanced design, but you can see on the other sides of the building, I don't have the side rails at all. So probably I forgot these ones. We can check that if we go back to the macro. Okay, just like this, double click on the macro side rails. So yeah, they seem to be deactivated in here. Let me check on the front. And on the back, all disabled. Yeah, it seems to be properly saved in this template, but for some reason I still have these elements. Probably, let me see. Platforms are okay. Back. Yeah. And you can see in this, in advanced steel, we have the claddings also as an option to add. So by default, the software adds to the roof, okay, but you can also go and select for front, back, left side, and then just add the cladding where you need it. So let's say if I want to create from the library another type of structure, I can just go, for example, single story 2 bays, okay, and then just load. And you will see how it has changed. So this is a different structure just in a click, and you can see now if I go to the different tabs in here, okay, we have number of bays, number of rows, all of this is defined by the template I did select previously. So let's say a typical process will be, or actually we have two ways of working with this structure designer tool. One way could be creating structure from scratch using Advanced Steel. Then you just load the structure in Advanced Design, you perform the analysis and design, you check if the structure is okay or not according to your requirements. And then you can start detailing the structure in here with the connections and all the detailing tools we have in Advanced Steel. The other process would be you can start with a model in Advanced Design, so you create the structure using the structure designer. You launch a calculation, FE calculation, then you perform also the steel design. And if everything is fine, you can send it via this same tool to Advanced Steel. And in here, you can just start detailing again. So two ways of working depending on how is your typical, what is your typical process. Okay, so I think that's all from me in terms of demonstration. So let me go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, so if you have any questions, this is the time to ask. And if not, you can send me an email to sarah.santana-herrera@graitec.com or contact me via LinkedIn. No questions? You're welcome, John. Hope you did enjoy it. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, any remarks for the moment, I will just close this webinar. And this webinar, okay? You can still contact me via my email or LinkedIn if you have some questions after the webinar is finished, okay? So thanks for attending. And we have, let me see, when ordering advanced design, you get structural designer. Yes, John, this BIM designers, structural designer, this model specifically, those come with advanced design automatically. And for advanced steel, you need to get the power pack. So it's inside the power pack for advanced steel. But when you buy advanced design, it is already included in the software. Yes. It's not the case with the other BIM designers modules. So they, I know that the steel connection design tool, those come as well, depending on the type of license that you buy. But the stairs and railings for advanced steel are separate products, so they're sold separately. And also the concrete series for advanced design, which is wall, column, slab, foundation, and beam design tool, those come separately as well. So it's a different product. And also the slab module for Revit is sold separately. But the structural design is included in advanced design. Yes. You're welcome, John. Okay, so again, thanks for attending. I hope you did enjoy, and we have also another webinar around the design of concrete members using advanced design on BIM Designer. So that's next week, next Wednesday, 9 a.m. UK time. If you like to know a bit about how to perform the concrete design using advanced design and the BIM designers, please join our webinar on Wednesday. We also have some other webinars around steel connection design and some other topics. So just visit our website, our corporate website, Graitec, www.graitec.com, or one of our local websites. So graitec.co.uk will be the case for the UK. And you can find there all the webinars we are running this month and next month. Okay. So thanks again, and wish you a nice afternoon and a nice weekend. Bye bye.